And so because he needs to leave sooner than later, I'm going to call former House Speaker and candidate for re-election to the State House, State Representative Bill O'Brien, in to start us off. And then a heads up to our congressional candidates. Those of you in the 1st District will be up next, and former Congressman Ginta might want to make his way to the podium. He will be the lead-off speaker in that race. Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Jared. Thank you. Morning, everybody. How are you? You know, it's so good to be here. There's been a number of years that I've spoken at this, and I particularly look forward to this particular meeting because this Wednesday I'm going down to Washington to speak to the Americans for Tax Reform, Grover Nordquist's group. And I get to tell them about this group. I get to tell them that New Hampshire is going to roar back because of people like you. And I'm going to tell them about what we know, what this group knows. We know that voter fraud is stealing our elections. And we know that when we go back into the majority, we have to solve that. And we know that deregulation is stealing the future. The fact that we haven't deregulated is stealing the future of our young people, and that we have to be dynamic. We have to look at whether we can eliminate the Department of Education, the Department of Environmental Quality Engineering, and take bold steps once again so that a dynamic economy will return to New Hampshire. We know that tax reform is vital in New Hampshire. We know that in New Hampshire it is not right that our business taxes are higher than Massachusetts, and dynamic leadership is needed to bring us to the point where we can solve that problem. And we know that our public employee pension plan will eventually bankrupt this state, and that we have to have dynamic leadership to solve this problem. That is what I'll talk to them about, and I'll go there and tell them that in New Hampshire we know what it is to have conservative leadership. It's not leadership that has as its goal keeping the Concord monitor happy. It is not leadership that has as its goal sitting at the front of the House of Representatives clucking their teeth while the Democrats pass a budget that's out of control and pass new taxes. It is not leadership that says, I didn't vote for all the new taxes that they brought forward, and therefore I'm a good conservative. It's not leadership that says a good Republican is someone who isn't as bad as the Democrats. We need to once again have leadership that will be courageous enough to pass, as we did, 80 bills that reduce regulations in New Hampshire, personal and business regulations. We need leadership that is dynamic and strong enough to once again reduce taxes and fees as we did. We need leadership that doesn't fall back and run for cover when the criticism comes. I'm going to be offering myself to, once again, to my constituents. I'm going to be offering myself to the state representatives, Republican state representatives, as their speaker. And I ask you to talk about them. I ask you to talk about whether or not we need dynamic leadership or we need passive Republican leadership. Thank you.
And right on time, Mr. Speaker. Thank you very much.
Croc TV.